Hey, I'm finally back. It's been another 3 months. Every time I say I'm going to start making videos again, I just don't. But I'm here. I'm here again. I think I just need to accept the fact that I'm just going to swing in every several months, drop you something, and then disappear again. That's how it is. So I'm here this weekend because my friend Kate at Reading Through Infinity and I are running a graphic novel readathon this weekend. We have stacks of graphic novels that we haven't read and we really want to sort of get through them, and when we asked other people as well, they were also like, yes, we have so many we need to read, please do it. So this has been in the running for months, like it's insane. I found some graphics that I made for when I first started planning a graphic novel readathon last year. I found the graphics that I made for it and they were from, the date that I put on it was September last year, so we're only a month off it being an entire year since I last planned to do this and it never happened. I don't know why, but we're here now. Me and Kate are doing it and we're so very excited. We've got quite a few people that are joining us, which is really cool. So we're running it through YouTube Live. We're doing a couple of live reading sprints this weekend. It's Saturday the 20th of August today, and we're running a reading sprint today on my channel, and then we're running one on Kate's channel tomorrow. But yeah, it's very exciting. I have a stack of graphic novels here. I have more on my shelf that I haven't read yet, but I've sort of picked off the ones that I definitely know that I want to read soon, because obviously we're only doing it for 2 days, so I can't read every single book that I own in 2 days, because I've also got some digital books that I want to try and get to as well. So I thought today I will just show you the books that I'm going to read, and then this will sort of be a little bit of a reading vlog as well, hopefully. I haven't vlogged in months and months. I can't even remember the last time I did a vlog, so I'm a bit out of practice, but yeah, let's see how I do. I have no other plans this weekend other than I'm doing some podcast recording tomorrow morning. That's it. That's my only plan. So the rest of the weekend I have to try and read all these books, and because they're graphic novels, hopefully they'll be quite quick to get through as well. So let me show you what books I have on my TBR for this weekend. I'll start with this physical stack I have next to me, and then I will also then go through the digital ones that I have that I want to read too. I'm sorry if you can hear traffic noise outside. I don't know if I've vlogged in this flat yet. I don't think I have. Oh, my Heartstopper video I think I made from this flat. But yeah, apart from that, I haven't vlogged. I've never vlogged here. It's been so long. I've literally moved house twice since I made a reading vlog, I think. That's insane. Anyway, onto the books. Here's my stack of physical books that I want to get through this weekend. Obviously, if I can't get through them all, I just dropped all of them. Obviously, if I can't get through them all, that's fine. I kind of picked more than I know I will read, just so I am a bit of a mood reader, so if I can sort of have more to pick from and I can choose what I want to read, and if I don't get through all of them, that's fine. I don't mind that. So the first one that I have is Nimona. I have had this for so long, because my sister bought this for me for Christmas, I think, a few years ago, and I'm very excited to read it. I think this will be one of the first ones that I start, actually, just because, yeah, I'm very excited for it. Next I have Check Please, which again is one that I'm going to get to quite soon because my friend Catherine, who is also joining in with our readathon this weekend, massively recommends this. She said that it's like wholesome, not as wholesome as Heartstopper, but what is, and she also loves sport, so for her it's like this perfect combo. So I'm excited to get to this one, and I know it will be quite a quick read again as well, so yeah, this will probably be one that I read quite early on as well. Another one that, did I buy this or did I have this for Christmas? I can't remember, but I have Anya's Ghost, which I definitely like to try and get to this weekend as well. I love the style of it. It's similar to, it reminds me of Heartstopper in the way that it's, the art style is like monochrome. Yeah, it's all sort of like black and white art style. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and again, it's not massive. I think that'll be a super quick one to get through. I then have Fake Blood, which is quite big and chunky, but it's a middle grade graphic novel, so I think it will be very fast. There's actually not a lot of dialogue in it at all, so I think that'll be a very quick one. But it's fun, it's vampires, and it's, yeah, it looks super cute. The art style looks adorable. Yeah, I think even though it looks quite big and chunky, that'll be a very quick one. I have a couple of little thin boys. I have the first volume of Saga, which I have heard so much about. People that I have talked to in the past have said that Saga is, like, incredible and they love it. There's so many volumes of it, I think. I only have the first volume, but I know that as soon as I read this, I'm probably going to want to start collecting all the volumes, which I literally don't have the money for right now. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what the hype is with this, because so many people say that it's incredible, like one of the best things they've read. So yeah, very intrigued by this. And then the second little thin one I have is Paper Girls, which is good timing actually. Again, I've had this for a while. It's good timing because there's now a show, I think on, is it Amazon Prime, I think, that people are comparing to Stranger Things, I think. Obviously people compare things to things all the time, but yeah, I've seen a lot of like proper like press articles and things comparing it to Stranger Things, which is my current love of my life. Like, I'm literally still, I finished Stranger Things so long ago now, and I'm still in a Stranger Things hangover. I'm obsessed. I can't stop myself thinking about Joe Quinn and Jamie Campbell-Bower, and I love them so much. But anyway, I'm getting off track. This isn't about Stranger Things, Charlotte, stop. Paper Girls, I'm very excited about, and again, it's very thin, and it's another one where I know there are lots of volumes, so I will probably want to pick up all the volumes after I read this one. Finally is one that is a chunky boy. This is huge, and this is Seconds. Again, I've had this for so long. I think I got this secondhand from someone. This is one where if I get to it this weekend, that'll be great, but because it is quite chunky, if I can't get to it this weekend, that's fine. I'm going to focus on some of the thinner ones because I know I will read those faster than this fat one. But I do also really want to read it, so it's by the author of Scott Pilgrim, which I haven't read the books, but I really loved the film, so yeah, I'm intrigued to get to this, but because it is so fat, if I can't get to it this weekend, then that's fine, but hopefully it will sort of motivate me to pick it up soon, even if it's like outside of the readathon. And then the digital ones, the reason why I have so many digital copies of books is because recently there was a Humble Bundle, which is basically a thing where they do big bundles of stuff for a massively discounted rate, and all the money goes to a charity, and the charity differs for each bundle that they do. They recently did one in June for the whole of Pride Month, and it was for a huge collection of Pride, like LGBTQ graphic novels and comics. So they're all books where the characters are queer or the stories are queer, and the money went to the Trevor Project, and I think it was 20 quid for the biggest bundle for 58 comics and graphic novels. So I was just like, yes please, I want that. So I went through those as well, and there's some on there that I am so excited about. So the ones that I've picked through I was sort of combing through all of the list of the digital ones that I've got, and I've picked the ones that I'm most excited for. I have Mooncakes, I'll put the covers up here. I have Mooncakes, the Tea Dragon Society, which looks adorable, and I'm so excited for that one. Be Gay Do Comics, which is like a comic anthology, and it looks so rainbow and colourful and great. I Am Not Okay With This, which is a Netflix show that I haven't seen yet, but it's been on my list for ages. I've been intrigued by it, and this is a graphic novel that the show was based on, so that's cool. The Backstagers, which I had never heard of before, but it sounds really cool. It's like a load of backstage sort of like tech, like stagehands for a show in a theatre, and there's like a magical door that all the stagehands know about, which sounds pretty cool. I have Fence Volume 1, which is definitely a well-known one, and I've had friends tell me that it's amazing. I've seen really good things about it. And then finally Juliet Takes a Breath, which I think is also a prose novel, and then it was turned into a graphic novel. Maybe, I might be wrong there, but it's, yeah, I'm excited about it anyway. Again, it's another one that I've heard about, and the art style looks really cool, so I'm really excited for that one. So that's my whole TBR. I have 14 books on my TBR, and obviously I'm only doing this for the weekend, so I definitely won't read 14 books in 2 days, especially as I said I'm recording the podcast tomorrow, and that's going to be a good couple of hours out of my morning. I do tend to read a lot when we do the reading sprints, and we're going to be sprinting for a good few hours. I think we're doing like 3 hours today, and then we'll do 4 hours tomorrow. My plan is to kind of, maybe after I read each book, I will get on and quickly tell you what I thought of each one. But yeah, let's get started. I want to start on these books ASAP because I have a lot to read. So I might see you on the vlog. I might see you at the end of tomorrow and I'll tell you everything I've read, depending on how I'm feeling. But yeah, let's go. First update time. I've actually remembered to do it, which is amazing. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I filmed that this morning at, I'd say maybe 10:30. It's been a couple of hours, and I have just finished Check Please, which is the first book that I have finished today. I got distracted a bit and I sort of went to get food and stuff, so yeah, it took me like 3 hours I think to read it in total, maybe like 2. It was good. I wasn't completely wowed by it. It was like, I think I've given it like 4 stars on Goodreads. There were a couple of things that I was just sort of like not really loving. Like the art of some of the characters made me really confused how old the characters are. Like some of the characters were drawn to look like proper like men. I mean like middle-aged men, but they're like in college, so I was just like, are these college age people? There's like one character in particular who I was just like, how old are you? Because you look super old. So that was throwing me off a little bit. I was like, I don't know how old these characters actually are. And it was the same with like Jack, who is basically like the captain of the hockey team at the college. Initially I was just like, wait, how old is this person? Like, I knew that from the blurb, I knew that Jack is like the love interest of the main character, but the main character looks about 15. But to start with, Jack looks like a teacher or something, so I was just like, I'm so confused by how old these characters are. And then the thing that also was making me a little bit confused, made my brain hurt a bit, was some of the dialogue. There's like a lot of dialogue, sometimes packed into one panel. I'm just trying to find a quick example. There's like sometimes a lot of back and forth dialogue fit into like one panel, and I was like, wait, what order am I supposed to be reading this in? I mean, like, for example, there's like this one at the top there. There's like a lot of dialogue packed into one panel, and I was like, where do I start? What order am I supposed to be looking at this in? And especially if there were like several characters talking like in a conversation as well. Sometimes it would just be, I mean, like this. There's an example. Like, again, that top panel. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I was just looking at it like, right, who is speaking? What order am I meant to be reading this conversation? So sometimes I would look at it and have to like try and work out what bit of dialogue came next. So that was hurting my brain a little bit. I think I maybe not skipped dialogue, but I sort of like, yeah, my brain just got a bit confused on some bits. Some of the sports talk went way over my head. I was like, I don't know what this means. I don't know hockey. It was just sort of some of the things they were saying. There were whole conversations where I didn't follow the whole conversation because I was like, I don't know what they're talking about here, which obviously that's just on me. That's just me not knowing sport. Apart from that seems like I've just thrown a load of negatives at you at once. The actual like friendships between the characters were so much fun. Some of the dialogue made me properly laugh out loud, like some of the things that they say, and just the way that some of the panels are drawn just made me properly laugh out loud. For example, like there's a bit here where right at the beginning, Jack tells, I've already forgotten the main character's name. Why am I so bad at this? Eric. Jack tells him that he needs to eat more protein, and then you just get this panel, which just made me laugh so much, made me laugh out loud. So yeah, I think the friendships and things I really like. That was great. The sort of vlog format as well. It was funny, like, picking this as the first one to read, considering I'm now doing a reading vlog for the first time in, like, I realised, by the way, my last reading vlog was March last year, my Mary Kate and Ashley video, which means it's been like 17 months since my last one. But anyway, yeah, it was funny to pick this when he's like vlogging all the way through it, and I was like, I'm doing this too. And it was an interesting sort of format for it to take, where he kept coming back to the same place to like vlog what had happened. I love all the stuff as well with baking. I love that he's a baker. I love that all of these men just like appreciate his baking. He gets a new kitchen in like the frat house and is immediately just like, oh my god, I'm gonna go make a pie. And then they're there for like 5 minutes and he's like, guys, I made a pie. Like, it's just I love it. We all need a friend like that. He's great. So yeah, story-wise, I enjoyed it. It's just the little niggles I had with like the art style and the dialogue being a bit confusing for me. But that's just a me thing. Like, people have given it 5 stars and absolutely adore it, which I totally get. I, however, definitely want to get the second book now. The way that this has just ended has made me absolutely want to pick up the second book. What is the time? What did I say the time is? It's 2:10. The first reading sprints we're doing today are at 4:30, so I have just over 2 hours. So maybe if I do pick a thicker one, I can read it in the next 2 hours before sprints, and then I can start a new one on sprints. I might do that. I'm just going to pick one at random. I'm going to go for Nimona next. It's been on my shelf for probably the longest. I think this was actually one of the first graphic novels that I got, because I was just becoming interested in them, and then my sister got it for me for Christmas a few years ago. So I think I'm finally going to read Nimona. See you soon. Sprints are done. I have eaten dinner. It is 25 to 10. God, I can't believe it's that late already. I have read 4 books today, which I'm actually quite happy with. So a quick rundown of what I've read. I already told you about Check Please and my thoughts. So following that, I read Nimona, which I loved so much. I don't know why it's taken me so long to read this, because I could have loved it so long ago when I first had it, but I'm glad I've read it now. I loved it so much. I wasn't expecting anything that happened. I was not expecting any of it to happen. I love the artwork. The only thing I'll say is that sometimes the font, like the text for the dialogue, is tiny, like just microscopic. Like, I mean, just, you can see here the text is so small on some of the speech bubbles, and I was finding myself reading it like having to literally hold the book like this so I could comfortably read the text. But that's literally the only gripe I have with it. Like, I loved it so much. I loved the characters, and the artwork is beautiful. I feel like there's not many graphic novels. I mean, there are a lot, but I haven't read that many where it's one and done, like in one book. It's just the whole story is told in one volume, and it felt, I think, to me more satisfying than a book that ends on a cliffhanger, or it ends in a way that you know there's going to be a volume 2. Because I like standalone books as well. I think if I'm going to read just a regular book, I will more likely go for a standalone than a series, just because I like books that they can tell a story in one go. So I really appreciated this for that. I loved it so much. The next one I read after that then was Mooncakes, and this is one of the ones that I have on my iPad. I had like a PDF version of it, which was actually fine. Like, I didn't know, I think I've deleted it off my iPad now, but I was worried that I wouldn't really get into reading them as digital versions, like as ebooks, but it was fine. Like, I could just scroll right through it rather than like flicking pages. I could just sort of like scroll as I went, and it was actually super quick to read. I think I read it in 45 minutes, the whole thing, and it was like 200 and something pages. So yeah, it was super quick to read. It was almost like reading it as a webcomic. So that was really cool. And I loved Mooncakes as well. It was just so good. I really loved all the different like the different characters. So you've got the main character has 2 grandmas, and that was just really cool. And then, as in like gay grandmas, that she just calls the nanas, which I loved. And they were so great. They're all witches. They're like a family of witches, and the dynamic that they all have is just so great. The main character then has a hearing aid, and it's brought up a lot. She actually uses her hearing aid to her advantage, which I thought was really cool. And then the sort of love interest character, at one point they're at... I've forgotten character names again because I'm obviously... as you've already seen, I'm so awful with character names. I can read a book and instantly forget all the characters' names. But they were at the Nana's house, and one of them said she, like one of them referred to them as she, and then they just said, I go by they pronouns now. And one of the Nana was just like, oh, cool, that's fine. And then continue to use they for the rest of the book, which is just great. We need more of that, just casual including other pronouns and people just using them. I think we need more of that because it normalises it. It normalises someone just saying, oh, I go by they them, and then someone just being like, oh, cool, great, thanks, I'll use that then. It needs to happen more often, it really does. But the story is just so good. The artwork is my favourite thing about Mooncakes. It's so pretty, oh my god. I posted on my Instagram story just like a picture of like one of the pages, just because it's so pretty. It's the kind of book where I just want to stick pictures up on my wall, or like stick pages up. I kind of want to buy a physical copy of it now when I actually have some money, because it's just so pretty. It's one of those that I'd love to just have on my shelf just so I can take it out and look at the pictures and see how nice they are printed rather than on an iPad screen. And then the one that I have just finished reading before I ate my dinner was Paper Girls Volume 1. And it was alright. I don't actually know what I expected from this at all. I think I went into it thinking that it was for a younger audience for some reason, but it's definitely adult. It's just weird. People have been comparing it a lot to Stranger Things, and I didn't know if that's just because of the time that we're currently in. The whole world is still currently obsessed with Stranger Things. I didn't know if this was just a media thing to be like, it's like Strange Things, and then you read it and it's absolutely nothing like it. It's like how for a while, all dystopian books or all flipping YA books, no matter the genre, are like, this is like the Hunger Games. So I was like, is it going to be like Stranger Things though? But it definitely was. I actually got that vibe. I could see the comparison because it is sort of like weird sci-fi, there's like weird aliens, and there's a bit of time travel in it as well. It's very strange. I said to Kate during the sprints, it's the kind of book where you have absolutely no idea what's actually happening as you're reading it, but you're still vibing with it. Like, I was like, okay, I'm rolling with this is fine. When actually, I had no flipping idea what was going on. I had no clue, to be honest. But I was still kind of enjoying it. One reason why I think I gave it like 3, maybe 3.5 stars for my rating. I think one of the things that I don't like is one of the characters, called Mac, says some quite awful stuff, like homophobic, racist stuff, and it is called out. One of the other characters is like, you can't say that, but for the rest of the book, no one really calls it out, and it's almost just like oh, that's Mac, that's just how she is, and that's not really okay. I know this is set in the 80s, and I know attitudes have changed, but even so, like, she doesn't have to constantly be saying things that are massively homophobic, and like, I don't know, I felt uncomfortable. I don't feel uncomfortable reading things very often. As an LGBT person myself, I don't really know what I'm trying to say. With some books, like, if there's a character in a book who says something homophobic, I'm like, it's just their character though, I get it. Like, if I hope that it's going to be rectified or called out, or I hope they're going to change their attitudes, otherwise it's just pointless to have a pointlessly homophobic character. But Mac, I don't know, I just didn't really see the point of her saying some of these things. I think the whole thing, I saw someone on Goodreads say that she is queer, which I don't know if I picked up on that in this or whether I just I missed that. So I'm wondering if it's maybe a whole like defense thing, like I'm gonna be homophobic because I'm actually a closeted queer, which kind of bothers me a bit. Like, it's a device that's used so much, and I just wondered if it was really needed. I don't know if in volumes after this it's dealt with a bit more and she stopped saying these terrible things, but she just said some things that made me feel a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, I was just reading them like, okay, but why did she have to say that though? Like, that was horrible. So that's kind of why, that's the main reason why I took a good chunk of rating off it, why I took like a 1.5 stars off. I mean, mostly some of it was also because I still have no idea what happened. Some things were just like, what is going on right now? I'm so confused. But yeah, it's mostly just because of Mac's character and some of the things that she said. I don't know, please tell me if you disagree, if you have like an explanation for why she's like that, but it just bothered me a bit. So that's all the ones I've read so far. It's now 10:15 and I know that I have all of tomorrow to carry on. I'm definitely not reading 14 books this weekend, as I said, but I am looking forward to seeing how many I can get through tomorrow, especially because we're sprinting for longer tomorrow as well. We did about 3 hours today. I think we're going to do 4 hours tomorrow. I don't know if I'll end up reading more tonight. I might get another ebook on my iPad and read it when I'm in bed. But if I don't get any more reading done tonight, I'm still happy with the fact that I read 4 in a day. So yeah, that's a good start. And I'm looking forward to seeing how many I get through tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Hi! Some time has passed. It's 20 to 7 on Sunday. I've been busy. I didn't end up reading any more last night after I finished filming because I stayed up until 2 AM researching for the podcast that I recorded this morning. It was a fun one though. I did all about, like, I was researching about the origins and like the cultural impact of fan fiction and like the founding of AO3 and yeah, it was so much fun. It was like focused all on how fanfiction started and how fanfiction, believe it or not, started as early as literally the 1700s. Like, we're talking about the 18th century here, and fanfic started because of Gulliver's Travels, which I just thought was really cool. But that episode is coming on my podcast on Wednesday. This video should be up before that, hopefully. But yeah, I stayed up till 2 AM researching that. I ended up having like 4,500 words of notes, which was crazy. So I didn't end up reading anything else last night. And then this morning I started recording. I did some blog stuff. I recorded the podcast for a good couple of hours. And then we did some reading sprints over on Kate's channel at 3:30, and we've only just finished. As I said, it's 7:15 now, and yeah, we have only just finished doing our reading sprints over there. Really productive. I read 2 whole books just in like the 2.5 hour, 3 hour reading sprints, which I am very happy about, and I read one that I absolutely adored. So the first one I read was Anya's Ghost, by Vera Broskell, and I mean, I was impressed anyway that it has a quote from Neil Gaiman saying that it's incredible. I don't know why I just held it up to the camera because it was blurry as hell. It basically has a quote from Neil Gaiman saying that it's a masterpiece, and I will trust Neil Gaiman with my life. So it was so good. I loved it. It's about a girl called Anya who accidentally falls down a well and she finds a skeleton in the bottom of the well, and it's like, oh my god, that's creepy. But then she sees a ghost of a girl who tries to be her friend, and the ghost tries to fly out of or she tells her that she can't leave the well, she can't get too far away from her bones. So Anya accidentally takes a piece of her like bone. She takes like a little the bone of her little finger in her bag with her, which means this ghost can actually follow her around and pop out wherever Anya is. And they become friends, but then Anya sort of starts to learn more about who this ghost is. She died 90 years ago, and as she's finding out things in newspapers, trying to figure out who she is, she learns some things about her that she was definitely not expecting, and it was so good. I loved it so much. I wasn't expecting the twist. It was just great, and I loved it. It's all sort of like monochrome art style. I flew through it. There's not a ton of dialogue, so yeah, it was a really quick read. I think I read it in like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. So yeah, it was great. It was a good start today. First book I've read today, and it was wonderful. And then the second book that I read, where have I put it? My camera is on it. Well done, me. Give me a second. My camera is currently balanced on a stack of books this big because I think I've left my tripod in work, which is just great. So every time I film this weekend, I have to stack up this many books and stack my camera on top of it. It's been wonderful. But anyway, here you can see the book that I've just read. Okay, I'm back. This was the second book I read, Fake Blood by Whitney Gardner. It was just fun. I think I've rated it like 3 stars. Anya's Ghost I'm going to give 5 because it was great. This I think I've given like 3. It wasn't mind-blowing, it was just fun. It's a middle grade graphic novel. It's like a coming-of-age story, and it was really adorable and so much fun, and moments genuinely made me laugh out loud. So this book is about a boy who thinks he's just really small and plain and boring. He thinks all of his friends are more interesting than him, and he really likes this new girl who starts the school. He kind of thinks that she's obsessed with vampires, so he thinks he needs to become a vampire to impress her. So they're doing a project about Transylvania, and he thinks, great, this is a chance for me to become a vampire and I can impress this girl. Turns out that this girl isn't obsessed with vampires. She doesn't love vampires. She's actually a vampire slayer. So she tries to slay him. She literally tries to kill this boy, but she's just like, she starts to really like him, and she's like, you're gonna make this really difficult for me because I still need to slay you. And it's just so funny. But the thing that made me laugh so much is the Twilight references. My god, he picks up a book from his sister's shelf called Moonlight, and there's a couple of panels that are like panels from the book that he's reading, and there's like a proper Edward Cullen looking vampire, and the girl that he's with is just like, I know what you are, you're a vampire. And he takes his shirt off and then has these rainbow sparkles coming off his chest. And I just thought that was so funny. I was not expecting to see that. And then later on, after I thought that was just like the Twilight references out the way, there's a part where, if I can find it, there's a part where he's sort of pensively looking out of the window, and the sort of exposition at the top says, I never really thought about how I would die. And then on the following page it says, but dying at the hands of someone you love might not be the worst way to go. And I was like, oh my god, they've actually quoted Twilight. I love this so much. This is so funny. I guess if you don't know that it's like, you don't know the Twilight reference, then you just think, oh, that's sweet. But it just made me laugh that it's like such a blatant Twilight reference, and I loved it so much. That was so funny to me. But yeah, I think this book was just fun. Obviously, I think for younger readers, they would love it even more than I did. I just thought it was just a lot of fun. It was just silly fun that I quite enjoyed. After that then, I only had like 15 minutes or so left of the sprint, so I didn't start another book. I also kind of feel like I'm hitting the wall at this point. Like, I look at another book and I'm like, I don't think I can read any more words. Like, reading 6 books in 2 days for me is, I think, my limit, even if they are graphic novels. So yeah, I think I'm kind of done with reading for today. I did start a new webcomic on the Tapas app. If anyone's read Date Mate, I have started that. My friend Charlie recommended that I read it, and I've only read like 9 pages of it, sorry, and I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not really that far into it to really have much of an opinion, but I am enjoying it so far. I love the art style, so I think I'm going to carry on with that if I do want to read more this evening. But yeah, I think for reading I'm kind of done. So that's not too bad. I'm very happy with how much I've read. So as a quick recap, this weekend I have read Nimona, which is over there, and it will stay over there because I'm comfortable. I read Paper Girls, which was okay, but I was kind of a little bit, I don't know, it was alright. It was fine. I read Check Please, which again was fun. It was good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favourite, but it was good and I liked it. The blinds are making a giant line down my face. That's great. I read Anya's Ghost, and then I read Fake Blood, and then on my iPad I read Mooncakes. So I'm very happy with how many I've read. I know my TBR was like 14 books or something, but I knew that I wouldn't read that many. If I could read one more, that would be great, so I can at least read like half of my TBR, but I don't know if I can. So I think I'm going to leave it here for now. But yeah, this was a really good weekend. The sprints were so much fun. Thank you to everyone who has joined me in Kate's sprints. That was really great. We appreciate you. It was just a really nice weekend to just sit and chill. I haven't done a readathon in over a year, so yeah, this was really nice. It was a nice weekend just to sort of fit everything else around my reading rather than trying to fit reading around everything else. It was been really nice just for 2 days to sort of focus primarily on reading. I think I'm going to focus on some writing maybe tonight if my brain's going to work, but I'm also kind of feeling like I'm just going to chuck a film on and get a takeaway, so that might be what I do with the rest of my evening. If you have joined in with our graphic novel readathon, I hope you have enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments if you joined and what you managed to read this weekend. If you haven't joined but you love graphic novels, please give me some recommendations. I particularly want LGBTQ graphic novels. As I'm talking, like as I'm filming this, I always forget how much I genuinely love making videos and it really excites me. So yeah, I hope to try and make some more soon. I don't want to keep disappearing for months on end, so hopefully it won't be too long before I come back again, but who knows, I will have to see. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you very soon, hopefully with a new video. Bye!